This is a quick and easy how-to guide on how to install mods for Red Dead Redemption 2. We'll be going through everything you need to know in order to make the perfect version of RDR2 for you. We'll start off with the required mods, and these are going to be all the base mods you need in order to make the fun mods work. Afterwards, we'll actually be installing some mods as well, so that you'll gain the knowledge and confidence to install any mod you want. So let's get started. So first thing is first, I'd recommend doing a fresh install of the game, especially if you've been messing around with the files. After that, in Steam, you can right click on your RDR2 and then hit property. From here, go to installed files and verify the integrity of your game files. This will make sure all the files you downloaded are actually there. Once verification is complete, it's time to get started. Now, all the mods that we'll be talking about today will be linked down in the description, so make sure to go ahead and get those downloaded so you can follow along. The first required mod we'll need is Lenny's mod loader. This is the main way we're going to be installing mods, because you're basically dragging and dropping certain mods inside a file provided by Lenny's mod loader. So on the left side of the screen, I have my downloads folder. On the right side, I have my RDR2 game folder. If you don't know where your game folder is, you can go back to Steam or right click on the game, go over to manage, and then click browse local files. This will open up to where your RDR2 exe location is. So that is your main game folder. Now, if the mod you just downloaded doesn't look like this, you're going to need to download a program called WinRAR. This is a free program that allows you to unzip files. So once that's downloaded, you can right click the mod, go over to WinRAR, and you can choose to extract files, or you can do what I do and double click on the file and another window will pop up. From here, we're going to click into mod loader and copy all the files you see here. From here, you're going to right click on these files and drag and drop into your main game directory. You should see everything that you dragged and dropped all highlighted. To make sure you did it correctly, make sure you grab the LML folder as well and drag that into the game directory, and then we'll go back to the first page. From here, we're going to drag this mod manager folder into our game directory. You can now close out of the mod, and inside the mod manager folder in your game directory, we're going to click inside and then go to modmanager.ui.exe. Once the mod manager window opens up, at the top of the screen, you need to find your game directory. So navigate to wherever your Red Dead Redemption 2 is stored and then click select folder. Hit the save icon and now you're good to go. Moving on to script hook RDR2. This is a script hook that allows you to load ASI plugins. This is needed in order for certain mods to activate. So once you have it installed, we're going to go ahead and open it up. Inside of the bin folder, we're going to be selecting script hook RDR2 DLL and then put 8 DLL. We're going to be using another trainer, but if you want to use the native trainer, you can drag and drop this into the file directory as well. So drag and drop these files into your directory where your RDR2 exe is located, and then you can close out of the mod. Next, we have the online content unlocker, and this is a requirement for quite a few mods, so it's definitely handy to have. Once downloaded, we're going to open up the mod, and inside you can see it says LML. Now you should read all the mod page instructions because it will always have a how to install this mod. For mods that have just a LML folder, usually you can just drag and drop this into your game directory, since we already have the LML folder installed from our required Lenny's mod loader. So from here, we're just going to drag the entire folder into our game directory. Now if we click inside of the folder, we'll see that it says online content unlocker. To verify this was installed, make sure you go into your LML file inside the game directory to see if that folder transferred over. Congratulations, you have your first mod unlocked. Next, we're going to be adding the Rampage Trainer, and this unlocks a lot of different features, which I went over in my previous video. I'll have it linked down in the description, but I highly recommend you get this mod. Once you have it downloaded, we're going to open it up. We're going to click into the first Rampage folder, and from here, we're going to take both the Rampage Files folder and the Rampage ASI and drag it directly into our game directory. We're on to the last two mods now, and these are just easy mods you can install, so you can quickly check in game to see if you installed them correctly. We're going to be installing the Metal Rework mod. So once you have this downloaded, we're going to open up the mod, and this mod is installed through the LML folder. So in your game directory, click into the LML folder, and we're going to take the Metal Rework and drag and drop it inside. Once you install a few more mods, it definitely gets easier. Just make sure, especially when you're first starting out, to always read the install instructions. It definitely alleviates a lot of confusion and troubleshooting issues. The last mod we're going to install is called the Restored Cut Content Quiver. So once you have this downloaded, we're going to open up the mod, and as you can see, this is a .asi file. These files are super easy to install. you drag and drop this directly inside the game folder, which is where your RDR2.exe file is located. Now the next thing to do is boot up your game to verify if you installed it correctly. The first time you install the Rampage Trainer, you'll be greeted by this menu, which gives you an idea on how to navigate your new trainer. You can just click through this, and by default, in order to open up the Rampage Trainer, you need to press F5 on the keyboard. If it pops up, you know you installed it correctly. If you want to see all the features this trainer has to offer, again, I've linked a video down in the description, so feel free to check that out. Next, we did install that gun Metal Rework mod, so we're going to take some guns out of our horse, and as you can see already, the guns now have a shiny new finish. So the gun Metal Rework mod is working correctly, and then we also had the Quiver mod we installed. So we'll go ahead and take our bow and arrow out, and as you can see, we have the Quiver installed on Arthur's left side of the hip now. So we installed everything perfectly. Now, as you go on adding more mods onto your RDR2, I would definitely recommend going one at a time and testing it out, especially if this is your first time. The required mods we installed in the beginning should get you through 90% of the mods. Just make sure to double check the requirements of each mod you're trying to download. If you plan on using mods to go through the story mode, I would recommend only installing mods after chapter 3. For some reason, the prologue is definitely bugged and you will crash every time you try to play it. But you can find chapter 3 saves on the Nexus mods, so definitely give one of those a download if you're trying to replay through the story. We have a few more tutorials coming out on how to download some of the larger mods, as well as even more mod showcases in the future. So if you like what you saw or you learned something, feel free to drop a like and follow. We'll see you next time.